So the Cyberpunk 2077 situation has absolutely captivated the gaming world right now. And a lot of it has to do with the build-up and the hype and the expectations around Cyberpunk 2077 and CD Projekt Red after they got done The Witcher 3, which released a critical acclaim across the gaming space. And then it comes out, Cyberpunk 2077, and reality hits really hard. I mean, it has to be the most disastrous launch that I've ever seen, and that includes Fallout 76 sending people moldy helmets. But Fallout 76 was never ripped off of the PlayStation Store and offered full refunds from Sony. That just happened to Cyberpunk this week. And now we have responses from Microsoft and even retail stores like Best Buy to go over. And we have CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk responding to try to make sure everyone can get refunds for this game. And we have a report that is, it's something else. We're going to go over that report too, as we are now seeing some unrest from within CD Projekt Red from developers who have to be frustrated with upper management right now. Guys, if you enjoyed these videos, make sure the like button helps out a ton. And if you're new here to the Spawn Wave channel, make sure you subscribe down below. Let's go over to Microsoft's response first. They said, to ensure that every player can get the experience they expect on Xbox, we will be expanding our existing refund policy to offer full refunds to anyone who purchased Cyberpunk 2077 digitally from the Microsoft Store until further notice. So it does appear that Microsoft is just going to leave the game on the store, which isn't the route that Sony went. They just said, hey, we're getting so many requests for refunds or complaints, we're just ripping this off the store, which, yeah, it could be quite a bit. And honestly, their entire customer service side could be flooded with messages about Cyberpunk, and they just don't want to deal with it, or they're just like, look, it's clearly not ready. We're going to take matters in our own hands. Microsoft appears to have just altered their refund policy, which, you know, I like Microsoft's approach more, because they're at least leaving the option up to buy it. And if you don't want it, after you buy it, you just refund it very easily. Some people were posting online after minutes of requesting a refund, they got it. The game, I guess, was pulled out of their library and they had their money back. We also have a response here from Best Buy saying, normally Best Buy is unable to offer returns of open game software per our return and exchange promise here. However, after some deliberation and seeing that the vendor will be allowing returns through December 21st, Best Buy will also be allowing returns for select opened Cyberpunk 2077 SKUs through December 21st. Beyond that date, we will return to our normal return and exchange promise for the game. Here are the SKUs that will be returnable, which does include the collector's edition for the PS4 and the Xbox One, by the way, as well as the base versions of the game, and then also the Xbox One digital. I'm not really sure how that works. I thought that was like a code, but I guess they figure, hey, if you bought it, you just bring it back, we'll get your money back. This weekend, though, keep that in mind. There is a fairly small window here. You'd have to just go and get it done, like, soon. And then to finish up a bit further, let's say you bought it from, like, a mom-and-pop store or a more independent store or something around your area, and they're not interested in taking it back, or even, like, GameStop, who sent out a memo to employees to say, send people to CD Projekt Red, that's their problem. They did post this up in their big usual yellow block format. At the same time, we'd like you to know that our intention is for every owner of a physical copy or a digital copy bought at retail who has valid proof of purchase and sends us an email within the time window to receive a refund. We will do this out of our own pocket if necessary. If you are unable to obtain a refund for the game from the store where you bought it, please contact us via email until December 21st. So yeah, we have our date there, December 21st. It does leave people out in the cold, so to speak, if you buy it for a holiday like Christmas or something, right? And it's a gift that you're giving, and the person gets it and is like, wow, this is not doing so well on my base Xbox One or my PlayStation 4. Yeah, that's going to be kind of tough. It seems like they have a patch, I guess, coming that may alleviate some of that, but the way they outlined it, it sounds like we wouldn't be getting anything substantial until January or February. So basically, if you want your money back for Cyberpunk 2077 and you have it physically, you're going to want to get that done this weekend. So now let's shift over to some of the talk within CD Projekt Red right now. I think most of us look at this situation and we do see it as an upper management problem. We don't see it as a developer problem. We see it as the leadership failing the developers here, because this game was clearly not ready to come out. And some people I see online are saying it's been in development for 7 or 8 years. No, I mean, it was conceptualized and announced back in 2012, right? And then they started kind of pushing it a little more in 2013, and they went quiet for a while. It wasn't really going into full-scale development and production until like the end of 2015, midway through 2016, when I believe the DLC for Witcher 3 wrapped. Then they started working heavily on Cyberpunk. So this game was really only in like full development for 3.5 years, 4 years, I would say at the most. And clearly a lot of deadlines were set up that were just like not possible to make with the developers and what they were trying to get done with this game, which this game, if you play through it, which I've played through it once so far, I'm going to do some more work and get through another ending because I didn't really like the ending I got. But there are moments where you look at that and you say, wow, there's a lot of effort put into parts of this game. It's just, it wasn't ready to release. It's clear that they put something out that the developers had to have looked at and said, are you sure we can release this? This doesn't seem like something we should put out there. But it's the holiday season. They're shareholders. There's a lot of this stuff going on, money, So, I mean, a lot of us look at this and say, yeah, the upper management probably was getting tired of delaying the game over and over and over again from deadlines that they were setting up themselves. So they just pushed it out there and did the old EA thing of, we'll fix it later. I just wanted to stress where most of the blame should be put right now, and that would be on the leadership and the upper management, not the developers who were at times reportedly crunching pretty hard just to get this game out in the state that it is now. Now let's go over to the Bloomberg article from Jason Schreier. I'll leave a link down below, saying during Cyberpunk's 2077's development, staff endured multiple periods of extensive overtime, including mandatory 6-day weeks to finish the game, Bloomberg has reported. When asked about this crunch time in the Q&A, the directors said they had plans to improve production practices in the future, but didn't elaborate, according to one person who was there. Yeah, those 6-day work weeks aren't going to end. Like the crunch and all this stuff that's been reported on, that's not going to end. I feel like they're going to crunch maybe even a little more to get these patches done, because now it's a necessity because it's out there. If this game was delayed, let's just say until March or April of next year, let's just put it into April, they would have had a little more time than now having to push for January and February to get this done. And who knows when those next gen patches are coming. That honestly could come an entire year after the game release. So whenever those next gen patches hit, we'll really know when the game should have come out. But this is where things got pretty interesting, because as we just saw, there was a Q&A where different employees were asking management all of this questions about the game itself and what happened here with the release. Said one employee asked the board why it had said in January that the game was complete and playable when that wasn't true, to which the board answered that it would take responsibility. So basically this employee, probably a developer, was working on the game, and they hear this statement. Well, I believe it was posted up online. I think it was on Twitter, where they said that the game is complete and playable, but we're going to delay it so we can polish it just a little bit more. They probably saw that and scratched their head and said, well, that's not correct. What's going on here? Apparently the deception goes back a bit further than we thought. In fact, here's the article for it. This was posted January 16th. Earlier today, CD Projekt Red delayed the release of Cyberpunk 2077 from April to September 17th. In addition to the delay, the game developer made a statement on Twitter saying the game is complete and playable, but there's still work to be done. Yeah, apparently that wasn't correct. Another developer asked whether CD Projekt's directors felt it was hypocritical to make a game about corporate exploitation while expecting that their employees work overtime. The response was vague and non-committal. I have no idea how they answer that. I really don't. That is a question that would have been asked in like open air with all of these people around, right? Whether on a conference call or something, and then just there 10, 20 seconds of just awkward silence. I don't really know how you answer that. I mean, they're not wrong, really, because Cyberpunk 2077, as you're playing through it, is a commentary on corporate exploitation in the city and the world itself and what it turns it into. And here they are crunching and working overtime while working on a game with that kind of theme. I mean, really, I think there'd be like a little self-awareness. Maybe they should have broken out the beginning disclaimer from the game where it talks about works of fiction and all of this. That might have got him out of it. And really, it shouldn't be surprising to see how frustrated the CD Projekt Red developers are to ask these kind of questions to the CD Projekt leadership, because the leadership failed them, the developers. They were clearly putting together a game that was extremely ambitious and was not ready to go, but they put it out there anyway. Shareholders, sure, stocks, I get it, delays, all these things, deadlines that were unrealistic, but the game should have been delayed. I think everyone can agree on that, because if you play the game, there are some good ideas in there. There really are. Like, there's a lot of attention to detail and everything, but then all of a sudden, the person next to you just disappears. Or they're T-posing in a car, flying down the highway or something like that. There are a lot of issues in this game that 6, 7 months, maybe even a full year of development time could have fixed. But they weren't going to do it, and what they ended up putting out there was probably, legitimately an alpha build that these developers didn't want to put out there. But if you're a developer and at CD Projekt Red, and you go up to a manager or whoever, and you say, we can't put this game out there, but they've already promised, and they've delayed it several times. They have a deadline to meet with their own investors. They're just going to tell you, hey, go sit down at your desk. We'll make the decisions. Don't worry about it. But wow, what a disastrous launch for Cyberpunk 2077. I said before, I don't know what else can go wrong here. It can't get any worse. And then Sony ripped it off the store. So I'm not going to say that anymore. I just don't know what else can really happen here. I assume patches will start to come out. The game will start to get fixed. And then we'll kind of move on to next-gen patches and all of this. But with kind of the turmoil inside of CD Projekt Red, who knows right now. But let me know what you guys think about this situation down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.